Dear Honorable Associate Justice Sonia Sotomayor and support staff, as members of the Colorado GOP Ethics Committee, we are publishing this video to express serious concerns about recent events in Colorado elections cancellations. We in the Colorado Republican Ethics Committee are deeply distressed about the bitterness to swallow the illegal, non-constitutional, and the quiet cancellation of the 2024 Frisco, Colorado elections. We believe this to be a bipartisan Federalist issue, and a precedent of voter intimidation to be spotlighted where resort real estate in Summit County, with headwater water rights, includes some of the most expensive houses in the world, even more expensive than Aspen. In reference to past cases such as Bronovich versus the Democratic National Committee, we believe you should take a close look at our online video publication. And we believe the quiet cancellation of the 2024 Frisco, Colorado elections without transparency is criminal and undermines the core of our democratic process and constitution, leaving voters intimidated and disenfranchised. And additionally, we allege foreign cartel money laundering and campaign finance takeover fraud by those involved, which further erodes public trust in local leadership. And this decision by a hostile geopolitical cartel takeover, hand in hand with local malfeasance in bed with bad actors, undermines the democratic process. This abrupt, non-democratic action sets a dangerous federal precedent that we fear will be used to cancel other U.S. elections by foreign bad actors and mob lawyers who will now wave the same Frisco, Colorado article in their hands as a non-democratic precedent. And these foreign U.S.-based private political entities in this rural hostile takeover use corrupted special districts to steal land and water rights, and then redistribute contaminated water to both sides of the U.S. headwater, with immunity, and we believe this is tied to the same entities involved in narcotics fentanyl distribution channels on the I-70 corridor that go through Frisco, Colorado, and Summit County is known for resort real estate second-house cash sales with no questions asked, right down to backwoods Disney villain, bad actor sheriffs of the 5th Judicial District, who cancel elections and forget to include election information online with Ballotpedia, as Ballotpedia is incorrect about Summit County on purpose. And, compounding these concerns due to real estate fraud in Frisco and Breckenridge, Colorado, there is a manipulation in Google Maps search results, with double bogus town locations appearing, seemingly tied to a larger scheme of cyber tax siphoning judges, with foreign governments using SQL injection, T-SQL, malfeasance, and bad actors to siphon tax revenue from Colorado. And we believe this is another example, as is pointed out in the Department of Justice search results case against Google currently, Case 1:20-CV-03010, in which case Colorado should again be included. We also believe that the United States Postmaster General should be contacted regarding the recent break-ins to our county post office in Dillon, Colorado, as we believe these post office break-ins are also part of the same real estate mail fraud, double Google database search results, real estate tax mapping, and election fraud tied together in Summit County. Even Tom Clancy and Ian Fleming would have wanted to write about this nonfiction if they could see this video. However, the FBI is actually the lead federal agency responsible for investigating foreign influence operations. In the fall of 2017, the Honorable Director Christopher Wray established the Foreign Influence Task Force, FITF, in order to identify and counteract malign foreign influence operations targeting malfeasant officials in the United States. And please, we pray you to investigate with your honorable committees these issues and take necessary action as soon as possible. We also believe the 2024 Frisco canceled elections was to hide a cyber attack of broken bogus Google search results for some of the most expensive real estate in the world, which allows tax siphoning through broken Google mapping. In the case of Summit County, Colorado, the methods employed by these foreign cartels are sophisticated and represent dangerous cyber espionage and geopolitical economic sabotage to steal by identity theft, and land grab mass tracts of land rights and water rights, control elections, control Google Maps, and control online taxes outside of state and federal tax control. These cyber foreign cartels use our real estate and bad actors to take over and manipulate computer systems to steal land and water rights, in order to skim tax monies to malfeasance and also skim tax monies to foreign interests, without Colorado and federal tax sovereignty as part of a greater New World type of espionage and cyber war, violating 18 U.S.C. Section 792. and while also having no postal mail delivery available in Frisco and Summit County, Colorado convolutes things even farther. Through cyber-coding espionage, these bad actors have found ways to manipulate online Colorado's tax systems and election infrastructure, creating SQL errors while bribing public officials and injecting malicious code into the very fabric of our democratic process. As documented in the Department of Justice case 120-CV-03010-APM against Google, this is an example regarding incorrect Google search results used to exploit Google Maps' algorithmic T-SQL systems, creating widespread economic, tax, and political harm to Summit County, Colorado. The Summit County Church of Christ has been one of the cyber targets. We also believe 5th Judicial District Administrative Order Number 2:2-1 has been violated. Right out of the movies, Summit County Frisco Sheriff and famous bad actor Jamie Fitzsimmons receives money from Google through the Screen Actors Guild for his movies like Fury and Suicide Squad, with a direct conflict of interest to obstruct justice and not disclose the hundreds of broken Google search real estate mappings in Summit County, Colorado, for multi-million-dollar mansions. This bogus double mapping of the towns of Frisco, Breckenridge, and Silverthorne as the same town with 3 different mayors while canceling elections in Frisco is more than election fraud. It is a way to siphon tax money to foreign countries. We also believe that this is an obstruction of justice to hide from the DOJ versus Google GIS database MIS mapping and tax siphoning espionage. We believe this a condition of geopolitical, like spy versus I spy, with the I spy having the edge. We believe the same type of cyber attack is being used to dismantle Colorado's tax infrastructure with hostile foreign cartel-backed private special districts in order to siphon state and federal taxpayer dollars to foreign interests. By breaking Google Maps search results and manipulating title transfers, these foreign bad actors have created confusion and chaos in our local real estate markets. Summit County, Colorado has some of the most expensive real estate in the world, with home prices averaging $2.5 million, mostly second resort homes, with tax skimming perpetrated by incorrect Google search results of database mapping. We pray that you intervene with your office to protect the integrity of our elections and protect Colorado's sovereign ability to collect online real estate taxes, even when the property is stolen to gain the water right by malfeasance in collusion with foreign cartels. In this brave new cyber world, this is not just a Colorado issue, it is a national crisis. Foreign cartels have infiltrated our rural elections and sabotaged Google Maps search results for tax siphoning, and if we do nothing, their control will spread. We need immediate action to reverse the illegal cancellation of the 2024 Frisco elections and to root out the geopolitical foreign bad actors behind this cyber-coding real estate tax conspiracy. We believe the state of Colorado has lost over $246,078,656 in tax revenue from this cyber scheme tied to canceled elections and Google mismapping. This statement addresses the unlawful actions of public officials and private entities in Frisco, Colorado, who have canceled local elections to protect their financial interests in stolen land and water rights. These actions threaten public health and security, as Frisco is a critical U.S. headwater located at the Continental Divide, delivering water to both sides of the nation. Recent reports show that Frisco's water contains heavy metals and forever chemicals, defined as PFAS, at 3 times the legal federal limit, putting millions of Americans at risk. These contaminants are tied to serious health issues, including cancer. The illegal activities center around United Water and Sanitation, a private political entity operating out of Frisco, Colorado, filled with bad actors and foreign cartel backing. This group has engaged in land and water rights theft, money laundering, and profiteering from contaminated water sales. This conspiracy also involves foreign actors, local officials, and local realtors, creating a legal precedent that endangers both Colorado and the entire country. We believe current issues in Frisco, Colorado, put the entire U.S. headwater at risk to both sides of the continent, as Frisco, Colorado's location at the Continental Divide, makes it a vital water source for the entire country. Water from this region flows to both the eastern and western United States, making its protection essential. However, the water has become dangerously contaminated with forever chemicals and heavy metals. A recent CBS News report revealed that the water in Frisco contains PFAS at 3 times the federal limit. Heavy metal contamination and PFAS are toxic chemicals linked to severe health problems, including cancer, liver damage, and developmental issues in children. These chemicals do not break down, making them a long-term threat to public health. However, this contamination crisis is no accident. It is the result of a conspiracy involving land and water rights theft by corrupt public officials and private entities like United Water and Sanitation, and these entities are using Frisco's water resources for financial gain, ignoring the health impacts on local communities and millions of Americans who rely on water from the Continental Divide. We believe that the private political party United Water and Sanitation Special District has been instrumental to the corruption and profiteering behind the canceling of the 2024 Frisco, Colorado elections. United Water's corrupt practices include illegal land grabs, as they as a private political party have unlawfully taken land from vulnerable communities, and water rights theft as they operate as a RICO group, with malfeasance seizing control of Frisco's water rights, profiting from contaminated water sales, and then engaged in money laundering and enabling mining and industrial activities that leach toxic chemicals into the water, worsening the contamination crisis. We also believe that habentus maleficia is being practiced as a form of religion over the state, and the contamination of Frisco's water mirrors the national PFAS crisis, currently the subject of the largest PFAS class action lawsuit in U.S. history, MDL number 2873. This case, being heard in the District of South Carolina, addresses widespread forever chemical contamination in drinking water. Frisco's contamination affects not only local residents, but also millions downstream to both sides of the United States, east and west. Given the importance of Frisco's water to the U.S. water supply, any contamination at the headwater threatens the entire nation, and in an effort to protect their land grab and tax siphoning illegal activities, the public officials involved in this conspiracy have canceled the local 2024 elections in Frisco, Colorado. This action prevents residents from electing new representatives who could hold these officials accountable, and as far as federal law is concerned, we believe canceling the elections violates the Foreign Interference in U.S. Elections Sanctions Regulations Part 579, Title 31, Subtitle B, Chapter 5, suggesting that foreign actors may be involved in controlling the outcomes of local elections to maintain access to Colorado's water resources, while laundering money in a cyber tax fraud. We believe this involvement of foreign entities in this conspiracy poses a significant threat to U.S. national security. We have found proof that United Water and Sanitation is also responsible for delivering contaminated drinking water to Denver with nuclear waste, as United Water and Sanitation speculates on water sales throughout Colorado. Their actions undermine U.S. sovereignty and put the nation's water supply at risk. The foreign involvement in this public health crisis, with local bad actors, is a direct attack on the health and safety of the American people. Please, we pray you utilize your chair to intervene. We believe the postal break-ins in Summit County to be related to canceled elections, mail fraud, and a possible orchestrated effort to undermine the democratic process in Summit County, Colorado. These concerns are directly connected to recent radical events, including a break-in at the Dillon, Colorado post office, and the cancellation of Frisco elections, which together in the same county present a disturbing pattern of electoral manipulation. As a strange phenomenon, in Summit County, mail delivery is not available to many residents, and as a result, the post office plays a central role in the voting process. For the residents of Frisco, Breckenridge, Dillon, and surrounding communities, voting by mail is not only a convenience but a necessity, as there are no alternative forms of mail delivery. This reliance on the post office makes the integrity of mail operations and the security of the postal system absolutely crucial to ensuring that every resident's vote is cast and counted properly. And, within months of the cancellation of elections in Frisco, the Dillon post office, a critical hub for mail services in the area, experienced a break-in. This timing cannot be ignored and raises serious questions about whether these events are connected. The break-in at the Dillon post office may very well be a deliberate act designed to disrupt the current election process by tampering with mail ballots, preventing delivery of key election materials, or even influencing the outcome of elections by exploiting vulnerabilities in the mail system. Moreover, we believe that these incidents are part of a broader scheme aimed at gaining control over the Summit County community through fraudulent means, cartels, and geopolitical influence. The cancellation cancellation of elections in Frisco, combined with a suspicious break-in at the post office, suggests a coordinated effort to undermine the democratic process and manipulate local governance. Frisco, a town mere minutes away from the Dillon post office, is particularly vulnerable to this kind of hostile takeover, as its elections have already been canceled, and its residents rely on the post office to vote. Under federal law, mail fraud is a serious offense defined under 18 U.S.C. Section 1341. There are two key elements in proving mail fraud. 1. Devising or intending to devise a scheme to defraud or perform fraudulent acts. And 2. Using the mail system to execute or attempt the scheme. Given the recent break-in at the post office and the cancellation of elections in Frisco, it appears that both elements of mail fraud could potentially be at play. The timing and nature of these events suggest an intent to interfere with the voting process by exploiting the mail system, possibly altering or withholding election materials or engaging in other forms of fraudulent activity. Reference case: Schmuck v. United States, 489 U.S. The landmark case Schmuck v. United States, 489, adjudicated in 1989, further clarifies the legal framework surrounding mail fraud. In this case, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld a conviction for mail fraud based on a fraudulent scheme that utilized the postal system. Applying this legal precedent to the events in Summit County, it is clear that any scheme involving the postal system to disrupt or manipulate elections would likely fall under the definition of mail fraud. And in addition to concerns about mail fraud, we also believe that there may be other fraudulent activities taking place in Summit County, including tax fraud and the use of misleading maps that do not correspond to reality. These fraudulent maps could be part of a broader strategy to obscure the true boundaries of the community, probably for illicit tax avoidance purposes or other illicit financial gains, possibly even involving foreign governments. The cancellation of elections, combined with a break-in at a crucial postal hub and the broader pattern of fraud, is alarming and demands immediate investigation. These actions represent a threat to the integrity of the electoral process, the rights of Summit County residents, and the rule of law. We call on local, state, and federal authorities to conduct a thorough investigation into these incidents, including the break-in at the Dillon post office, the cancellation of Frisco elections, and any potential acts of mail fraud. During elections, mail fraud is a crime, and it should be investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The cancellation of the Frisco elections is not just an administrative failure. It represents a grave breach of federal law, including racketeering and money laundering. Under Title 18 U.S. Code Sections 1957 and 1961, such acts are classified as serious criminal offenses. This is not about oversight, but about a calculated effort to manipulate and exploit legal and financial systems, putting the integrity of our democracy and economy at risk. Candidates who ran for office, as well as those currently in office, were disturbingly exempt from adhering to Colorado's tracer laws. These laws, which govern campaign finance disclosures, are essential for transparency and accountability. By being exempt from these regulations, these officials were able to conceal the true sources and uses of their campaign finances. This lack of oversight enables the flow of illicit funds to bad actors and even foreign entities, facilitating real estate fraud, tax evasion, and money laundering. Cartels like putting their big money investments in Summit County, Colorado, and now they have made a backwoods haven. Through a complex web of geopolitical real estate fraud, foreign interests are using our political and financial systems to their advantage. These actors are not just evading U.S. taxes, they are committing a series of crimes that include computer crimes against both the state of Colorado and the federal government. The siphoning of taxpayer money and the manipulation of local financial regulations create an environment ripe for corruption and criminal activity. One glaring example of this is the involvement of entities like Goldman Sachs working with cartels to invest in the local homeowners associations with $0 land transactions. These actions have disrupted local property rights, particularly water rights and land rights, in what appears to be a coordinated effort to strip resources from the community. This violates the very fundamentals of U.S. law regarding Magna Carta and the rights of seizure and due process. This situation extends beyond Frisco, forming part of a broader federal case class action lawsuit of Waldrop versus Countrywide Mortgage, and the implications here are vast, touching on multiple violations of federal law, including land and title fraud, identity theft, tax evasion, and money laundering at a geopolitical level. These offenses fall under the purview of Title 18 U.S. Code Section 1957, which specifically targets money laundering, and Colorado Criminal Code Section 18-5-309, which addresses title fraud, and the violated list of statutes goes on and on. The manipulation of campaign finance laws, particularly through the evasion of reporting requirements to Colorado's tracer system, makes it easier for these bad actors to hide their illegal activities. The tracer system is designed to promote transparency and prevent this kind of criminal activity, but by bypassing its requirements, these individuals are able to operate in the shadows, evading accountability while canceling their own elections. Their financial activities, hidden from public view, enable them to divert funds to foreign entities and criminal networks, and the broader implications of these crimes are staggering and worthy of a Hollywood movie. As members of the Colorado Republican Ethics Committee, we believe that bad actors with foreign real estate ties and dark web media connections are intentionally canceling elections to reap campaign donations without accountability to Colorado Tracer campaign finance reporting, thus compromising and sabotaging their own parties. By manipulating local elections and evading campaign finance laws, these actors are using the political system to enrich themselves and foreign entities. This is not just a local issue, it has national and even international consequences. Real estate fraud, tax evasion, and money laundering on this scale create vulnerabilities in our national security and economic stability, particularly when foreign interests are involved. We would think of this as clipping coins in the brave new world. You will see United Water and Sanitation missing as a Colorado special district from Intuit's program, called TurboTax, as an example of another cyber crime against the state of Colorado. Just as Lakeside, Colorado has had problems with their clerks, we believe Summit County, Colorado clerks in Frisco and Breckenridge and Dillon and Silverthorne have colluded and obstructed justice. The actions of these officials represent a direct violation of federal law, and their criminal activities must not go unpunished. The American people deserve accountability, and it is imperative that federal and state authorities take swift action to investigate and prosecute those responsible. We cannot allow our systems to be hijacked by those who seek to profit at the expense of taxpayers and the integrity of our democracy.